Eliza never expected to fall for someone so much younger, let alone her tenant. At 45, she thought her days of passionate romance were behind her. But when 25-year-old Liam moved into the spare room in her house, everything changed. It started innocently enough. Liam was a graduate student, working on his PhD in literature. He needed an affordable place to live while finishing his studies. Eliza had an empty nest after her divorce and figured renting out a room would bring in some extra income. From the moment Liam arrived with his boxes of books and shy smile, Eliza felt drawn to him. He was tall and lean, with tousled dark hair and soulful brown eyes. More than his looks, though, it was his quiet intensity that intrigued her. He'd spend hours reading in the garden, completely lost in whatever novel he was analyzing. Eliza found herself looking for excuses to be around him. She'd bring him tea while he studied or ask his opinion on what she should make for dinner. Liam was unfailingly polite and kind, always thanking her profusely for her hospitality. As the weeks went by, they fell into an easy rhythm of cohabitation. Eliza loved having someone to talk to in the evenings. Liam would tell her about the books he was reading for his dissertation on modernist literature. She found herself captivated by his passion and intellect. One night, as they sat drinking wine after dinner, their conversation turned more personal. Liam confided that he'd always felt like an outsider, more comfortable in the worlds of books than with people his own age. Eliza shared her own feelings of loneliness since her divorce. "I feel like I can really be myself with you," Liam said softly, his eyes meeting hers. Eliza's heart fluttered. She wanted to reach out and touch him, to run her fingers through his hair. But she held back, reminding herself of their age difference and her position as his landlady. Still, she couldn't deny the growing attraction between them. She found herself dressing up more, wearing makeup and perfume even when staying home. Liam's gaze would linger on her a bit longer than necessary. The air seemed charged with possibility whenever they were alone together. Things came to a head one rainy Saturday afternoon. Eliza was curled up on the couch reading when Liam came in, soaked from the storm. As he peeled off his wet shirt, she couldn't help but stare at his lean torso. Their eyes met, and in that moment, all their unspoken desire came rushing to the surface. Liam crossed the room in 2 strides. Before Eliza could react, he was kissing her passionately. She melted into his embrace, her body responding with an intensity that shocked her. They made love right there on the couch, giving in to months of pent-up longing. Afterwards, as they lay tangled together, reality came crashing back. "Oh God, what have we done?" Eliza murmured. Liam propped himself up on one elbow, looking at her intently. "Something we both wanted, something that feels right." "But you're so young," Eliza protested weakly. "I'm old enough to be your mother." "Age is just a number," Liam said. "What matters is how we feel about each other. And I'm falling in love with you, Eliza." His words made her heart soar, even as her mind raced with doubts. Could this possibly work? What would people think? In the days that followed, they couldn't keep their hands off each other. Stolen kisses in the kitchen turned into passionate encounters in every room of the house. Eliza felt more alive than she had in years. Liam worshipped her body in a way no man ever had before. But the real intimacy was in the quiet moments, reading together in bed, taking walks in the park, cooking dinner side by side. Eliza found herself opening up to Liam in ways she never had with anyone else. He listened without judgment, offering wisdom beyond his years. As weeks turned to months, they settled into a relationship that felt both exciting and comfortable. Liam officially moved out of the spare room and into Eliza's bedroom. They stopped hiding their affection when out in public together. Of course, there were challenges. Some of Eliza's friends were scandalized by her dating someone so much younger. Liam's parents were wary when he brought Eliza home to meet them, but the strength of their connection helped them weather the disapproval. Eliza worried sometimes that she was holding Liam back from experiences he should be having in his 20s, but he assured her that he'd never felt more fulfilled. His writing flourished, inspired by their love. As Liam's graduation approached, they faced a crossroads. He'd been offered a teaching position at a university across the country. Eliza knew she couldn't ask him to give up the opportunity, but the thought of being apart was unbearable. The night before his interview, they stayed up talking until dawn. "Come with me," Liam said suddenly. "We can start a new life together." Eliza's mind raced. Could she really uproot her whole life? Leave behind her job, her friends, everything familiar? But as she looked into Liam's earnest face, she realized home was wherever he was. "Yes," she whispered. "Let's do it." The next few months were a whirlwind of planning and packing. Eliza put her house on the market and resigned from her job. Some people thought she was having a midlife crisis, but she'd never felt more certain of anything. The day they drove away, setting off on their cross-country adventure, Eliza felt a profound sense of rightness. She was leaving behind her old life, but gaining so much more. With Liam by her side, she was embarking on a thrilling new chapter. Their new city took some adjustment, but they quickly made it home. Eliza found work as a freelance editor, which gave her flexibility to travel with Liam to academic conferences. They adopted a dog and spent weekends exploring hiking trails. Liam thrived in his new position, quickly becoming a popular professor. Eliza loved watching him lecture, still in awe of his brilliance and passion. Their age difference became less and less relevant as time went on. On their 2-year anniversary, Liam surprised Eliza with a picnic in the botanical gardens. As the sun set, he got down on one knee and proposed. Eliza burst into happy tears as she said yes. They wed in an intimate ceremony a few months later, surrounded by those who had supported their relationship from the start. Eliza's son walked her down the aisle. Liam's sister was his best woman. As they exchanged vows, Eliza marveled at the unexpected path her life had taken. She never could have imagined finding such profound love and partnership at this stage of life. Liam had awakened parts of her she thought were long dormant. Their honeymoon was a literary tour of Europe, visiting the haunts of all the authors Liam studied. They made love in a cottage in the English countryside, strolled hand in hand along the Seine, and got delightfully lost in the winding streets of Prague. Back home, they fell into the comfortable rhythms of married life. Lazy Sunday mornings in bed, bickering over whose turn it was to do dishes, surprise flowers just because. But the passion between them never faded. They still couldn't keep their hands off each other, stealing kisses between Liam's classes or making love in the afternoon when Eliza was supposed to be editing. Their physical connection remained electric, made even more potent by the depth of their emotional bond. As the years passed, they faced their share of challenges. Eliza went through menopause, struggling with mood swings and a changing body. But Liam's love and desire for her never wavered. He held her through the hard days and helped her see her beauty. They weathered a health scare when Liam's father had a stroke. The crisis brought them even closer as they supported his family through a difficult time. It also sparked conversations about their own future and aging. "I want to grow old with you," Liam told Eliza one night as they lay in bed. "To take care of you the way you've always taken care of me." Eliza's eyes welled with tears. She'd worried about being a burden as she aged, but Liam's words reassured her. Their love would see them through whatever lay ahead. They celebrated Eliza's 60th birthday with a blowout party. Looking around at their friends and family, she felt immensely grateful for the life they'd built together. Liam, now in his 40s, was as handsome as ever with touches of gray at his temples. That night, as they slow danced in their living room, Eliza reflected on their journey. "Did you ever imagine we'd end up here when you first moved in as my tenant?" she asked. Liam smiled, pulling her close. "I hoped. From the moment I met you, I sensed there was something special between us. I'm so glad we were brave enough to take a chance on love." Eliza rested her head on his chest, perfectly content. Their relationship might not be conventional, but it was real and lasting. They defied expectations and created a beautiful life together. As they swayed to the music, Eliza sent up a silent prayer of gratitude for taking a risk on renting out that spare room all those years ago, for opening her heart when she least expected it, for the incredible man in her arms who had changed everything. Their love story was far from over. There would be more adventures, more challenges, more moments of everyday magic. But whatever the future held, Eliza knew that she and Liam would face it together. Two kindred spirits who had found their perfect match against all odds. Later that night, as they lay tangled in sheets, Liam traced patterns on Eliza's skin. "What are you thinking about?" he asked. Eliza smiled. "Just how lucky I am to have found this kind of love at my age, to get to spend my life with my best friend." Liam kissed her softly. "I'm the lucky one. You took a chance on me when I was just a broke grad student. You've supported all my dreams. You make me a better man every day." They made love again, slowly and tenderly. Afterwards, as Eliza drifted off to sleep in Liam's arms, she felt a profound sense of peace. This was where she belonged. This was home. The next morning, they woke to sunlight streaming through the windows. As they sipped coffee and read the paper together, Eliza was struck by how ordinary and extraordinary their life was. The simple domesticity was made magical by the depth of their connection. "What do you want to do today?" Liam asked, refilling her mug. Eliza considered. "Let's go for a hike, pack a picnic and spend the day in nature." Soon they were trekking up a mountain trail, holding hands and pausing to admire the views. At the summit, they spread out a blanket and feasted on cheese, fruit, and wine. As they lay back, looking up at the clouds, Eliza felt overcome with contentment. This was what mattered, not the numbers on their birth certificates or what anyone else thought. Just two people who had found their other half, creating a life of beauty and meaning together. "I love you," she murmured, turning to kiss Liam. He smiled against her lips. "I love you too, always and forever." In that moment, surrounded by the majesty of nature, Eliza knew with absolute certainty that she had made the right choice. Taking a chance on an unexpected love had led her to the greatest happiness of her life. Whatever the future held, she and Liam would face it side by side, two hearts beating as one,